But the daughter, daughter! The daughter needed to be called not once, not twice, but 3 times, and she was not best pleased to be woken from her sleep. But when she came down, she said, "Mother and father, why are you shouting and screaming?" And here she placed a hand upon her mother's shoulder. "I'll free you." And she pulled, and she was stuck to her mother's shoulder. So now there was the goose, the father, and the mother, and the daughter, all stuck to one another. And they screamed. Now their screams awoke the youngest son of the woodcutter, and down the stairs he went, and he saw the goose, the father, the mother, the daughter, but the boy said nothing. For all of the screaming and crying and yelling, he picked up the goose with the father, the mother, and the daughter attached, and no matter how much they screamed or yelled or cried, he still did not see anything, and he went out of the door and out into the bright new morning. Now it happened that it was a Sunday morning, and the priest was standing outside of the church. He looked at the boy with the goose, the father, the mother, the daughter, and he said, "You boy, you seem to be making everybody try to laugh upon this the Sabbath day. Come here, woman." And the priest reached out with his hand and grabbed hold of the mother's hand. "I shall free you, and then people will not laugh at you." And he pulled, and he was stuck to the mother. So now there was the goose, the father, the mother, the daughter, and the priest. And soon they came to where there was a shop, and the shopkeeper tried to grab hold of the priest's hand, who was being dragged away from the church upon a Sabbath day, and he grabbed hold of the priest's hand, and he too was stuck. And a boy and a girl all got caught in one great long line with the goose, the father, the mother, the daughter, the priest, the shopkeeper, the boy, the girl. And when people looked, they couldn't stop themselves. They would laugh and guffaw and chortle and smile. And if the boy jumped, then the father jumped, and the mother jumped, and the daughter and the priest and the shopkeeper, the boy, the girl all jumped. And if he danced, then the father danced, the mother danced, the daughter danced, the priest, the shopkeeper, the boy, the girl all danced. And the boy walked on along the road until he came to where there was a great castle. Outside of the castle there was a soldier with a sword in his hand, and he looked and he said, "You boy, you seem to have come on a long journey, and you brought many people with you, but I've got to tell you, you have made me smile by the way that you go along with that goose, and the man and the woman and the daughter, and the priest and the shopkeeper and the boy and the girl. And inside of this great castle there is a princess who has not smiled. But if you could make her laugh, then the king would let you marry her." The boy, the woodcutter's youngest son, thought that this would be a good prize. And so he went underneath the window of the princess, and he walked. And the father and the mother and the daughter and all of the rest of them walked as well. And the princess looked out of the window, and nay, a smile passed her lips. But the boy was clever, and he started to jump. And the father jumped, and the mother jumped, and the daughter jumped, and they all jumped, and now the princess had a thin smile upon her lips. But when the boy danced, and the goose and the father and the mother and the daughter and the priest and the shopkeeper and the boy and the girl all danced as well, the princess could not stop herself. She started to laugh. It was a sweet, high-pitched laugh, and the king heard this and said, "Who is it who has made my daughter laugh?" When the woodcutter's son was brought in front of him, the king was not pleased to think that his daughter would be marrying a woodcutter's son. He said, "I will let you marry my daughter if you can eat all of the bread and drink all of the wine in the castle." Now the boy looked and could see that there was just 1 and 2 bottles of wine, and could see that there were just 1, 2, 3 bottles of wine. And he looked and he thought, I could eat those loaves of bread, and I could drink that wine. But the king opened up a great door, and inside of the door there were 10 barrels of wine, and behind the door there were 100 loaves of bread. The boy did not know what to do, but when he went outside, who should he meet but the little grey man, no bigger than this, with hair that hung over his shoulders and a long thin beard upon his chin. And the little man was crying, "Oh, I am so thirsty. Oh, I am so hungry." The woodcutter's son said to him, "Could you eat 100 loaves of bread?" "Yes." "Could you drink 10 barrels of wine?" "Oh, yes." And he slipped the little grey man inside of his coat and took him inside of the castle. And the little grey man drank 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 barrels of wine, and ate not 1, not 10, not 20, not 40, not 80, but 100 loaves. And when the king saw that all of the bread and the wine was gone, he knew that he had to let this young boy marry his daughter. The princess was very pleased, for the woodcutter's son was very handsome. And when the old king died, the prince, for that was what he became the king. And for someone who was a woodcutter's son, who was always told, "I do not like you," for him to become a king was the greatest thing in all of this world.